Boxing fans here with Dean Whyte. Dean, we're here at the Anthony Yarde, Artur Beterbiev press conference. Good fight this, very, very good fight. Just talk to me about this one.
Good fight. I mean, credit to Anthony and his team for delivering, getting him in this position to get this unification fight. I'm not too sure, based off the current guys he's faced, to get to this position, how that worked out. But nevertheless, Frank Warren is good at what he does, getting these guys into position. It's a great fight, nevertheless. I do wish Anthony Yarde well and Tunde, they can deliver. It is a tall order, very, very tall order. 19 fights, 19 knockouts. Record speaks for itself. But, having said that, Beterbiev is 38 this past weekend gone. Hopefully Father Time catches up to him, and we'll see if Anthony Yarde can capitalise on that. If you look at the CVs, one as a stellar amateur, over 100 and something fights. One has no amateur fight, no schoolboy fights, no white collar fights, but it's still on an equal poster, on an equal par fighting for a unification match. You know, what story? If he can deliver on Saturday night and upset the apple cart, mate, I think it's a wonderment and a great thing for him and his team. But it is a tall order. That man there possesses power, skill, and understanding of boxing, because he's had that experience. Anthony still has experience and all the other stuff that come with it, because he's had a certain amount of fights. But it is a hard fight come Saturday night. You know what I mean?
Does it help when Anthony Yarde's got real power in them fists, because he's a heavy hitter?
No, he has power, and that's what it's going to need to take. It's going to need to take that kind of power for him to get the win, and it's going to be interesting to see if Beterbiev can take Anthony Yarde's power, because he can dig. We've seen he got dropped against Callum Johnson, so we know he's not Superman. We know he's not invincible in that aspect. There can be dents in the armour, and if he does make that dent, can he capitalise and get a stoppage? I don't know. That's why it's called boxing, and only in a matter of time we will have the answers.
He's got a very good resume, Artur Beterbiev. You go through his list and just is champion upon champion, great fighters. But do you feel like he's faced anyone with the skill set of Anthony Yarde, with the high level of fighters that he's fought?
What are you talking about? He's faced Usyk like 3 or 4 times. Like, he's faced the who of who in boxing as an amateur. I know we're talking about pro, but he's faced even what's the American? Is it Johnson? The white? What's the Johnson?
Joe Smith Jr. That's my question. Is there similarities between Anthony Yarde and Joe Smith Jr.?
Punchers can box.
Yeah.
And if you go down the list of him, he's faced a lot of stellar guys. So, am I to say Anthony Yarde is the best guy in the light heavyweight division? I think he's up there in the list of guys that have potential because of the power, because he has an ability to upset the apple cart. But you've got Bivol, you've got him, you've got some real good guys in that stat division, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. This is boxing. Anything can happen, man. But like I said, I wish him well, and I do hope he can pull it off. But it is a tall order, and against this man here, whose IQ I'm sure is A1, we're going to see Saturday night.
Do you want to move away from this fight? Quickly talk about last Saturday night, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith. It ended in a way that a lot of people didn't think it ended, with Liam Smith stopping Chris Eubank. Just talk to me about that, man. That was a serious shot to take Chris down, and then.
Mate, listen, absolutely carnage, as I said before, because I would have never foreseen that. I wouldn't have thought it. I wouldn't have fathomed it. I believed it, and I wanted Chris to win, because obviously he's a brethren. Smiths are a good boxing family, and I respect them, and I like all of them. The father's a great man, all the boys, talented boxers, and I believed they could win also. I wouldn't be surprised, because they're a talented bunch. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I tend to have done more stuff with Junior, gone on holiday, partying a lot. So it's a bit cheeky, you know what I mean, if I go and say, you know what I mean? So look, I expected him to be the bigger, the stronger man, the man that possessed more power. But I can take that and say, look, congratulations, credit to Liam, he's done a fantastic job. And his pedigree was always there, but it was, coming up would that make a difference fighting? But yet again, what I will say, which we're probably not looking at, don't want to give any excuses, we must recall that Chris Eubank Jr. bore down to, what did he bore down to? 157, and then he went up. He came down from 168 all the way down to 157. Then to have to go up and then come back down, it's not good for your body, it's not good for you as you get on. As you can see in the weigh-in, his leg looks really small. When you take that kind of weight away from people, what happens? Your punch resistance goes. So, I mean, it's not an excuse, but I'm just giving you the science and the facts on what I look at and stuff like that. So it was an interesting fact. But yet again, you know, Liam, he was like a bull in a china shop. He set out his stall in the first round, and he was an absolute wrecking machine, and he meant business. So he went out there and set his stall out on what he was going to do, and I felt like he might gas. So it was a bit fearful. But that lead arm, that Roy Jones thing, that's madness. That right, he threw that overhand straight away and it clumped him, and I was like, okay, this seems like it might set the tone to something. But I think it was good setting up, because see, when you box, when you fuck around on the ropes, man, it's not good business. I think Congo done a similar thing, fucking around the ropes, and then you invite your opponent to tee off on you. It's not good business, but it's hard to keep moving for 12 rounds, you know what I mean?
Do you want to talk about the rematch clause? It seems that there is a rematch clause in place, and looks like it's going to be in Liverpool. They're talking about Anfield, but if you were in Chris's corner, would you advise him to take that rematch on?
Listen, he's done an amazing job for his family. You know, he's made a lot of money. His name still will go down in history. I know people keep saying he's using his dad's name. Like I said to another fella, he's not using his dad's name. His dad gave birth to him, and he gave him that name via birth. So he's using his birth name, which was given to him by his father. He had to work to get to this position. No one did the runs for him, no one did the sparring for him. So we must give him credit. I understand some of the things he does, some people don't really like them, but look, this is called show business. You must entertain, give value. And look, he's got another chance to do it all again. This time I'd advise him to keep his jab hand up a bit higher, and try and just tie up. But he was tying up, but the ref kept warning him. So the ref's taking away from the game as well. I don't know. It's a hard fight. He's got it all to do, man. He's a very, very tall order at Anfield. The fans are gonna be even more against him.
And quickly, before I do let you go, I do want to talk about a fight that looks like it's going to get announced: Anthony Joshua versus Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine, we know, who fought Dillian, gave Dillian a very hard fight, to be honest with you. Yeah, talk to me about that one. I'm talking to a few people say style makes fights. Joshua should win this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think absolutely styles makes fights. I think Joshua's is more of a clean-cut boxing, amateur boxing, jab, right hand down the middle. Dillian's shots are more body shots, left hook. I don't think Dillian throws a lot of straight rights down the pipe, and I think that might be the Achilles heel in this fight that's going to do the destructive damage for Joshua, because Joshua throws a good jab, double jab right hand. So, but as we've seen, Jermaine Franklin, good chin, durable, fast hands, good feet, and he showed his pedigree, and he deserves to be at this level. But going back, let me say it again, in the fight with Dillian won all those championship rounds. He showed his pedigree, and he came up and he rallied in those championship rounds to win that fight. In that fight, yet again, he's got Buddy McGirt, which is his new coach, and he was boxing to order. Buddy said, use your jab, use the stick, and go to the body. So Dillian was boxing to order. So it wasn't the Dillian we're used to, it was a tailored Dillian, which was being directed to how to box. But no excuses. Jermaine's a hell of a fighter, a hell of a chin, and done the good things. In the last round, the rope kept him up. That should have been a standing 10-8 count, and that would have changed the dynamics of the fight as well. So, you know, for argument's sake, it is what it is. But good fight for Joshua, good for morale, good for confidence. I mean, I expect Joshua to win, but I expect him to go through hard times, and it's to be an interesting fight while it lasts.
Actually, final one for myself. Eddie set up a plan for Anthony Joshua for this year. It's Jermaine Franklin, it looks like, Dillian Whyte, then a Tyson Fury / Wilder fight. But what he said is, if he loses this fight, it could be game over for Joshua. Do you think that's the case? If he does lose to somebody of that level of Jermaine Franklin, no disrespect to Jermaine.
It's hard to come back from something like that. But saying that, as we saw, he gave Dillian a hard fight. So we understand he is a pedigree, and but I understand why he'd say that. But I do believe Joshua has the minerals to come back. He's taken Derek James as a coach, so I believe he will learn, and he'll come back, he'll be improved and be in good mindset to come back and get the win. And it'll be a good yardstick, like I've been saying to these, for Dillian and him to see who can do it in more devastating fashion, to see if they have a showdown in the summer.
Okay, Dean, before I let you go, just let the people know when you're out, when you're on it.
Just over 2 weeks. Doing myself or the Black Box page. Going to be a great night of action.
February 12th, Tolworth.
February the 11th, okay. March the 12th, Maidstone. So I'll give you the 12th anyway.
Perfect. Dean Whyte, thank you very much for talking to Pro Boxing fans. Thank you so much.